I'm a sucker for detail.
At least 8 months before I first washed them.
Which went away for about 2 years.
So this dress has been going for a long time.
It originally belonged to a second or third cousin of mine. Kind of spread them around, and then if they wanted to borrow them for something special, they
started making.
And also about the quality of the time, not just the hours.
Wear that would be entirely comfortable. So
they're really comfortable. They're really old school. So they
lots of thought about how to equip yourself
almost
at any given moment.
The fact that it's mended.
And now I wear it again, dirty and gross, but with the rips as kind of like...
Yeah, because it gives me kind of good memories. Memories wrapped up in it for me. But what I particularly...
It never restricts me from sitting or doing.
I've kept it all this time. I'll force them into that.
That's why this piece is very special to me. We have a photograph at home of my aunt wearing it, and I remember my mum getting it from her. I think that's how I remember it anyway. And I loved it as a child because it's really warm and cozy, and it's got so much memories wrapped up in it for me. But what I particularly like,
one of my cousins, some of my sisters, just kind of spread them around, and then if they wanted to borrow them for something special, they would have to call me. But most of my family members, it originally belonged to a second or third cousin of mine, Anita Louise Herman. She passed away fairly young,
now it's like
and
reversed its role, and now I wear it again, dirty and gross, but with the rips as kind of like a signifier of that I tree plant, and you don't really know who else is a tree planter around because it's kind of a smaller community of people, and it only happens in the summer. So to me, it's just this little signifier of like, okay, I
quite nice. Maybe I'll make a dress out of it.
Work that I'm kind of proud
so
of.
I started making. And then I'd drape it around the dummy, and it was quite difficult to get the shape of the dress, and I'd add a piece. And the great thing about the embellishing machine is that you can rip it apart.
Well, I call it a 3-stage jacket because it began about 40 years ago as a very slim waistcoat given to me. So I put
we all did different things in the end.
I live in New York, and so we are outside all the time, and it requires lots of thought about how to equip yourself at any given moment. And it's kind of a year-round coat. Like 1 year, actually, when I first moved back to New York.
All of the buttons and stuff. And it's kind of taken in. And unfortunately, at the time, I thought it's really annoying the way it comes out.
The pile never goes down. But I chose the two, and I'm not too bad at invisible mending, but I also, when it gets beyond that, I start to just decide that the mend will become a feature, and I sort of almost patch with abandon, or with sort of knowing it will be seen and deciding that it will become almost advertising the fact that it's mended.
It was well made. It has survived French Riviera sun and washing by all of us for 50 years.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
I think it's amazing.
Nothing wrong with it
and the neck, and
whatsoever.
it's just the combination of the two details is gorgeous. And I just particularly like the buttons. You see how they've just been. Normally people do the crisscross, but they haven't.
And these are buttons in the jackets. Say it has 3 jackets. It's take those buttons off and just make it look sort of more unique. You know what I mean? For me, because I hate seeing people wearing the same jackets. Everyone does, but or same, you know what I mean? You know, a certain look where they kind of look the same, or from the same tribe, you know what I mean? But at the same time, within that.
But the underarm seams had ripped and these buttons just pop open, so I took the sleeves off and sewed them up, sewed up the front and
every day, travelling overseas, through Europe and that sort of thing. They eventually started to thin out and rip, and by the time I got back to Australia, I needed to take them in for repairs, and since then I've learned how to sew on my own machines and all that sort of stuff, so doing my own repairs and that sort of thing. So you can see...
So both came
from my granddad, and he gave me the boots, and I kind of liked them and kind of wasn't sure because they were 2 sizes too big for me. So I kind of took them away and took them home and put them in the wardrobe and kind of looked at them for years and kind of wanted to wear them but couldn't because they were so big. I'm not really sure what happened. I pulled them out one day. I was like, yes, I'm going to embrace the boots of my granddad and put on 5 pairs of socks and wear these boots. And I did, and I have kind of worn them ever since, and I love them, and it makes me very happy and very proud. And every time I go back, they're kind of more ripped and in a worse state. I kind of love showing him that I really have worn them. I'm not, just telling him I am, and you can see it. And the cardigan, maybe you should talk about because you wear it.
But for some reason, the company went out of business. So I immediately went to eBay and bought what I consider to be a lifetime supply. I have 4 pairs, and they started out at $100.
A while back, my husband borrowed it, but we used to wear it together because it was so big, it would fit us both. And there was one time he was biking in the rain in Berlin, and he got so warm and so soaked that it felt it. It became
I
really
just feel like
his
I've got
body. On his
everybody too much stuff, but it's hard to know what to do with it. You can't just chuck it away. No way.
It's
And
about
some of
time,
it comes
I think,
back
and
around.
also about the quality of the time, not just the hours. I also bought. I wore my 2 most patched garments. I have a huge mending pile that sort of is completed and added to at a rate that means the pile never goes down.
But you have to get rid of some things, and then you can decide what to keep and what not to keep, what to give away. And then I found this dress, and I've been using it a lot lately, and because it gives me kind of good memories from being a teenager.
She asked me to go through these large piles to see if any of it was of value to me, and I liked the colour and the comfort of these pants. The colour reminds me of space, and the comfort means I can often sit in quite sort of what's classed as a manly way. So when I find myself wearing for graduation and stuff these little dresses, Mum was like, "Sorry, you can't sit so relaxed when you're wearing something that short." And so with these pants, I never have to be aware of. It never restricts me from sitting or
One of 4
doing.
children, and I have 2 sisters. So the 3 sisters, as my mother has said, were very keen to wear this dress, and fortunately we could all fit into it. So what happened was we basically have shared this dress since we really were old enough to have a grown-up figure, and that's a period of about 40 years, 30 years?
40, I think.
Is it 40 years? Yeah. So this dress has been going for a long time. And because we like it.
But you spend so much time wearing them in and getting the nice fades and that sort of thing, you don't want to retire them or put them out to pass. You want to keep repairing them and keep wearing them until they can't take anymore.
So they were all kind of shell-shocked, and she was very imperious,
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So anyhow, after that, I added a bit to it, and then it went away for about 2 years. I started it in 2008.
So it's funny that I've managed to keep it all this time, but I have got a lot of clothes that are like that are at the bottom of the wardrobe, and I drag them out.
That I could wear that would be entirely comfortable. So they're these, all right?
I always wished I could, because I like the way that he kind of doesn't sew so neatly. For me, that's really charming. Like he
he doesn't sew perfectly, but that's exactly what I like, because I wish I could have that unskilled quality in my own clothes. Or I'm a designer, so I make clothes, and I always look for that quality, where there's a sense of openness and spontaneity, where, I don't know. So I just kind of love that spirit in clothes, and that's what I love about these clothes.